We're back, episode 35. I'm your host, Gabe Diaz. With me, I have my co-host, first one, Jamie. Say what's up to the people.
Yeah, I'm the second one, bro. Start with Carrie.
All right, you are number 2 in my eyes. Carrie, what's up, baby boy? Say what's up,
How's
dude.
it going, yo? Today, I'm about as fresh as that is. Like, I'm clean. I'm ready. I'm hyped for this.
Ass wiped. Dingleberries taken care of.
5-4 shit's cleaned up today. Like,
right, can y'all hear this? Can y'all hear this? Wait a second.
This motherfucker. Yeah, we've been waiting.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We've been having some technical difficulties. He's had like the last hour to be munching on shit.
It's just delicious.
And right when we start the pod, he's got a grub. Mother. Anyways, yo, welcome back to Couch Bump. We took a little break last week. I'm sure everybody noticed that. Everybody felt that. We're back, baby. Today I'm gonna do a little recap of Casa de Papel, Money Heist, the last season. Technically part 1 of the last season.
Does that mean House of Paper?
Bro, did you take Spanish twice in college? Tell me. That's a whole other story. We'll talk about this. That's an insider. That's an insider right there. We're also going to talk about the Matrix trailer. Wow. And on HBO, Malignant just dropped. So first thing I want to do really is talk about the Matrix. Because usually when it comes to this podcast, I just tell people what to watch. And the boys
no one listens, right?
They're just like, okay, we'll watch it. And they don't really throw out any suggestions. They'll just like complain afterwards and be like, yo, that was trash. But this time, Jamie hit us up like, yo, the Matrix trilogy for this week, like all 3 movies, let's go.
I was really fucking drunk when I said that.
You must have saw that trailer.
Straight up.
I was wondering because he was on the trailer like, yo, I gotta, because I also kind of saw it and I was like, I want to watch the first one again, you know? But I didn't have the urge to watch all 3 before this week's podcast. Like that was after so we're just going into we just decided to talk about the trailer.
The 2-minute trailer. Yeah, great. Not the 6 hours of content.
Yeah, not the fucking epic that is Matrix trilogy.
Or the epic that is the first movie and then the pilot.
Bro, I want you to take lead, bro. What is your thoughts on Matrix? I feel like you're the most pumped for this one. Yeah? Is that fair to say?
I was, again, like I was drunk and I was like, the Keanu's on my screen right now. I gotta get hype. But no, what got me hype is they got the fucking they got Dr. Manhattan from fucking Watchmen as the Lawrence Fishburne lookalike dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. Yes. I did not recognize him at first. I did not. I was wondering where I've seen him before.
But I was like, and it looked like the CG wasn't complete doo-doo. So I was like, all right. But it's gonna be heavy CG though. So I'm like,
that's my thing. That's my thing. The Wachowski bros. They're the bros now.
Is it the?
I think only
sister?
one.
No, they're both women now. I thought.
Oh shit! My bad. They're both women now. My bad. I apologize. The Wachowski sisters.
Yeah.
I think they're going. One of them is going solo.
Yeah.
One of them. I think it's Lana. I think Lana's going
something
solo.
Like that.
Yeah. I think Lana's going solo, but the Wachowski sisters have kind of had this pattern of making the first Matrix movie and then every other movie they made just be kind of dog shit. So I'm a little bit nervous. Like every movie they make looks great, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they have huge ideas for the most part. But like I haven't seen Speed Racer. I kind of want to watch it just to see more of their movies. But that's like a huge animated like live action movie where it's got a whole bunch of CG and shit blowing up and shit popping up in your face. And I'm kind of getting those vibes. Like I remember watching the first Matrix back in the day, and I felt like the coolest parts to me were like the kung fu shit, where Keanu's just like one-handed, like blocking shit, or like the first bullet time when he goes backward and he like that shit was cool, you know, or like the training scene, you know, there's like those moments. It wasn't like I feel like they're in this trailer. It looks like they're focusing heavy on spectacle, CG shit, people flying. A lot of the move that I keep seeing is like this push move where they're just like pushing people and they're flying backwards in slow motion. I feel like I've seen that like 5 times in that trailer. And there was a scene where like one girl was doing like flips or some shit, and I felt like I was watching like Spider-Man, but like shitty CG. To me, I'm a little skeptical. I don't know. Carrie, what are some thoughts, bro? Talk to us.
Yeah, I think nostalgia cash grab currently.
Okay.
But I can't get behind a Matrix without Lawrence Fishburne.
I was going to ask that question.
It's like, I know he's got the younger version. But
is he officially
I think it's the younger
out?
version.
Is it like...
He's probably like old as fuck, like doesn't want to do this shit.
But he's been in fucking John Wick too. They've been going. Keanu and them have been going.
Yeah, even more so. Like if they're boys, like why does he want to do this unless it's trash?
So I read this thing. This could be like a way to get us off the trail. But he has this quote saying that he wasn't invited. He's like, I wasn't invited. I hope it turns out sick. But yeah, they didn't want me to be a part of it, I guess.
Yo, Gabe knows how that feels, bro.
The one redeeming portion is that Keanu's been good recently, and like all his movies have been at least average or better.
Yeah.
So it's like it's probably not going to be trash, right?
As long as they're not
like he still has the physicality. He still has the physicality.
If they're not like do an English accent for this, it's like all right, it's a wrap. But if there's no accents, then you're good to go, bro.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know because it's like for John Wick, it's him doing the action and it's badass, but it looks practical. You know. Yeah. For the most part, this is just so much CG and shit flying, and then he's holding Trinity in the air, and they're doing like a Superman thing at the end. I don't know. It looks cool. They have the guy from Mindhunter, the one guy from Mindhunter at the end, where he's like,
Jonathan Groff. Yeah,
he's like, so we're some kind of the Matrix Squad moment. You know what I'm saying? I saw some theories where in the background someone paused the trailer and the movie, like the Matrix. Like scenes from that movie were playing in the background. So they were saying like, "Oh shit! Like, what if this is like?"
It's like meta.
He's like in like being controlled by the machines potentially, and they're like sending him those visions to keep him since he's the one.
Yeah. You know? So there's some cool, and he's like drowning on those blue pills. There's some cool shit in there for sure, and I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna go watch it. Is it on HBO? I think it's dropping on HBO.
Yeah, if Keanu,
so I'm in my living room to watch it.
If in the trailer ended it with like he pulls a gun out and he shoots a guy, some dude is like, Matrix for kids, and shoots his ass, I'll be like, all right, take my money, bro.
That's in the bloopers. That could be in the bloopers.
That made the final cut, bro.
Yeah, Matrix is cute.
It's like that. That shit where they like overlay a movie over another movie. It's like they have all those like random bullshits like in the background of the movie, bro. I can't wait.
Well, I can't believe we haven't mentioned Hugo Weaving though. We can't have a Matrix.
Is he there?
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
He's not in the trailer.
Yeah,
I'm saying you're talking about you're up in arms over Lawrence Fishburne, which I am too. But I'm saying, like, man, Hugo.
I can see I saw like Lawrence Fishburne like visibly replaced. Like
they just
I don't know.
They get the same fucking sunglasses, bro.
There was some agent looking. The thing is. Because there were some agent looking guys too.
But everyone was white. So I can wear a suit. I can wear a suit, bro. But like the Lawrence Fishburne shit, that shit is very specific.
They made him, they made him look specifically.
I think I saw that like that agent that was shown in the trailer was like returned from like past movies.
Yeah, Gabe.
So it's it's not. He's like one of the agents seen before. So
Gabe Show, bro.
He's not even replaced.
Okay, so we'll see.
And like the new Oracle,
there is interesting stuff. In it. A new Oracle, what was that?
And like the Oracle might not have even been replaced, like because it's like the little girl from one of the earlier movies.
We'll see. So I'm a little like the behind the scenes of not having both sisters on board and like their track records got me a little skeptical. Yeah. But I'm gonna
dope.
Maybe. Well, here's the thing, Gabe. You were like, Jamie. Well. The Wachowskis have been doing it really well, and then like, okay, but only once on maybe the shitty one fell off the project. So like, let's go.
True. Maybe that was holding her back this whole time. Like, I didn't want to make Matrix 2 through whatever. This is the one I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Moving on real quick to Money Heist.
All right, I'll tune off it.
Go ahead and eat if you want to eat.
Do this part in Spanish, dude.
Yo, mute yourself and eat those chips, bro.
Oh, huge.
If you want. But definitely mute yourself because I see you grubbing on that shit before. You have to mute your camera too. This man exaggerating. Last season of Money Heist, season 5. This is more of a conversation for people that have watched this show. If you haven't, I can't really catch up on 5 seasons. Basically, it's a Spanish soap opera with a little bit of action, bank heist type scenarios in there. It always involves robbing a bank, just in different locations, and usually it takes like a good 2 seasons for them to.
That's where they keep the money, heist. Bro. That makes sense.
Bro, I thought you were eating chips, brother.
I know, but I didn't talk.
Get back to it. You look hungry. Bro. Get back to that. So this last season, it starts it right after season 4. They're still in the Bank of Spain. They got military coming in. They have the professor being captured by this badass pregnant agent that was scorned by her own people. There's some cool shit there. But overall, honestly, this season was kind of buns in my opinion. It was kind of weak. They do a lot of fake action where the military will like crash in there, and our gang of heroes / bad guys they'll go and like have a war battle. They'll just be firing shots back and forth, but they're in small proximity and no one ever gets hit. But they just keep like standing up and just like into the camera, like all badass, but then no one gets hit, and you're just like, there's been like 3 scenes of this. I'm not feeling this. And then there's only 5. So this was kind of my fault. I guess I could have done the research. I would have been less pissed off during it. I thought that this was it. There's only 5 episodes, and I'm like, all right, I guess this is all we get for the finale. They feel like they can wrap it up in 5. Let's do it. And I'm on episode 4 or 5, like, yo, this looks like we're nowhere near wrapping this shit up. And I'm getting kind of annoyed because we have characters that, all right, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler. So we have a character named, this is going to be definitely a spoiler. So if you haven't seen the last season, I'm going to just spoil this shit. We have a character named Tokyo, who in my opinion is easily one of the worst characters in the series. She's super fucking hot and she's an amazing actress, but her character is shit. She's always getting people in trouble. She's always getting people killed. Like literally before she joins the heist, the bank heist, this gang, they show her with her boyfriend and they're just riding on a motorcycle and just going through pueblos, like fucking up people and robbing shit. And then she gets him killed. They go through a fight. They go through some shit. She gets him killed. And then 4-5 seasons later, they're bringing him back in flashbacks. This is our last season. We got like 2 episodes. In my head, I'm like, we have 2 episodes left. It was literally the last episode of the season. I thought it was a series. She's kind of like low-key on her deathbed. And we're getting flashbacks of this romance with the guy that got killed in the first episode that I have like no connection with. So shit like that was just taking me out. There was things I feel like I honestly, this could be on me for not rewatching some of the. It's been like a year since the last season came out, and I haven't rewatched it. I watched the recap, but they didn't hit on every character's like side stories. And there was one character that out of nowhere was starting to do drugs and like just fucking, I don't know,
the fun character,
like hair, yeah. Like all of a sudden she was like about to OD on shit, and I was like, damn, was she a drug addict before? Like that could be on me for not remembering that, but that shit like that threw me off. There was just characters that were just there to be shitty, and annoying, and it just kind of got really repetitive, like kind of this review. So yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up. Honestly, it was.
Speaking of Matrix, bro, you did the retro though.
That shit's been right there.
Honestly, it was. I would give it like an average futon. I feel like for the average person that has watched up to this point, they're gonna fuck with it. They're gonna be fine. I think it was a little underwhelming. The second half of the series is coming out in December, so that kind of calmed me down when I thought the shit was wrapping up and nothing was getting resolved. Because turns out we're halfway through the story. But yeah, if you're a fan, you've probably already watched it, and I would still recommend it to you. But it's definitely lost some of its steam. But yeah, okay. Let's take a quick break. We're gonna come back and talk about Malignant. All right, let's talk Malignant. So this is a new HBO movie from James Wan, I believe.
What up, Asians?
He's brought you some classics like The Conjuring, I believe, some of the Annabelle movies, Aquaman. I think he's done Saw, maybe some Fast and Furious. So, I mean, depending on who you ask, he's got some hits. But personally, me,
I don't like him.
Nah, he hasn't done anything that's blown my mind. And lately, we've been a little out of sync. So you guys probably love this shit. I don't know. You guys fucked with this? Usually we're a little off. So
it was a horror movie that was not scary. So
Okay, but neither was the Fear Street movies, and you love that. That's why I'm a little,
Those weren't horror movies. Those weren't horror movies. Those are like thrillers.
This is more of a thriller, or those were more of thrillers?
That was more of a thriller. This was a horror movie, bro.
Yeah.
Those were like an homage. It's like a mystery. Those are mysteries, dude.
I guess if we get into the plot, unless Carrie's got some notes, but I'm a
Yo, real quick, I just want to say, Gabe right here, this man goes by many names. You got The Rock. You got what else you got? But he's also got The Destroyer of Dreams, and never has a movie more fit Gabe's title than this movie right here. Gabe, The Destroyer of Dreams, right here. If you watch the movie, you'll understand how perfectly Gabe.
This movie. Yeah. I was like, wait, what? It went over my head for a second, but I'm totally in sync with you right now. This movie's kind of hard to talk about without spoiling. I'm trying to, kind of give us a synopsis without it, but we're probably most likely going to end up spoiling some of this movie, if not most of it. So this is your warning. If you want to go in completely clean, do that. I think I can tell you if you just want to know what my initial opinion or thought is. Pretty average movie. Probably, unless you guys change my mind somehow through some of your reasoning, it's probably going to be like a low futon.
For a horror movie, it had really, really like the production value. You could tell this horror movie costs a lot of money, like the CGI fucking like transportations and shit.
Yeah.
And like the soundtrack was like intense. Like it's like they threw a bunch of money and a lot of effort at this, but bro, the acting in this movie sucks.
And what sucks, dude, is the main actress.
She's a good actress, but she's so great. In the last 10 minutes of that movie, dude, that was like I couldn't even look at the screen, bro. It was so melodramatic and shitty.
Yeah, she's been in things like the thing I know her from the most is
Glee,
Peaky
right?
Blinders.
Oh.
She's in Peaky Blinders, and she kills it in that. And the whole time I was like, she looks so familiar. Where have I seen her from? She has that look, and she kind of looked like she looked like Angelina Jolie in that last Angelina Jolie movie where she has like dark hair and she's like super skinny.
She's in the horror movie too. Isn't she in one of the Conjurings or something? Or Annabelle?
I think she's in Annabelle. Let me pull up her IMDb. She's in Annabelle.
Yeah.
Let's see what else she's
in. Should have stayed in it,
bro. Yeah, she's in some other shit, but nothing that I don't think we'd really know her from. Yeah, let's do a quick synopsis. I'm gonna pull it up on. Usually I write it out, but this shit was just kind of lame that I'm just gonna go with IMDb. Let me pull this up. So like I said, we have our main character who's named Madison Mitchell. She's a nurse. She comes home one day, and off rip we meet her shitty ass husband. And off rip we're like, yo, again we're gonna do a little spoilies, but off rip you meet this guy. She's like, you can't make her any more sympathetic. She's a nurse. She works hard. She comes in fully preggers, holding her belly and her back and shit. She comes in and she's like, I'm not feeling well. And off rip, Mans is just like on the bed, watching TV.
Watching UFC,
shit. Literally just like running at her. Like literally he just needed to crush a beer against his forehead. And it would have been like the perfect picture. And he's just like, oh, maybe you shouldn't be working, bitch, if you're not feeling well or whatever. And then she's had a few miscarriages, so he's like throwing that in her face, like, oh, you're breaking my heart, all these dead babies. And then she pushes him. She's like, back up off me. She pushes him, and he was like, oh, hell no.
And just like
grab some Game of Thrones shit where he just like grabs her face and just smashes it against the wall. You see the imprint on the wall, like.
And she's a nurse, and she's bleeding from the back of her head. She's like, you know what? And then she's like, falls asleep, starts bleeding all over her pillow. She's like, no, I'm not going to the hospital. You're a nurse.
Yeah, that was. I kind of thought how I tried to reason it so it didn't kill it for me was that she was scared of the husband at that point and just didn't want to leave the room at all. But at the same time, I was like, bitch, you're bleeding out your head right now and your ass probably. Like, you need to do some shit. But quick spoiler. it would have been so funny now after watching the whole movie if you go back and you see the head imprint, like where she got her head hit,
and you see
his face. Yo, that would be some cool ass like foreshadowing. If a quick look and you just see like eyes and shit. So yeah, that's a very spoiler right there. But
no, it's like when it's like you have in Forrest Gump when he puts like the money. The t-shirt over his muddy face and hands it back. That's like a perfect smiley face. Smiley face.
Dude, that would have been beautiful. That would have gave this movie some heart.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I forgot to mention the opening of the movie. You have some doctors, and they off rip. They tell you it's off rip. They had me hooked because the first character they mentioned is Gabriel. And it's 1993, so I was like, "Oh shit, this is my origin story."
There's no way this goes correct.
Let's go, huh?
So there's no way this goes well.
Yeah, there's no way this goes well. I already know of one Gabriel born in 1993 who's fucked some shit up, so I can only imagine what this is gonna do. So off rip, you have this whole setup with doctors, and they're like, "Yo, what's going on with patient Gabriel? Is he fucking shit up again? I think we got this." She's literally like, "I think we have the situation under control as long as we contain him." And like a second later, it's like, "He got out!"
Great plan.
She's like, "Fuck! I was just saying the one plan, the one thing." So she like rushes over. She's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And they're like, "He got out. He's fucking shit up. He's breaking people's arms and shit." And then somehow she's able to hit him with a trank. She gets him in the room. They don't really show him at all. It just looks like I thought it was gonna be like a midget alien type thing. The way they showed it,
yeah.
The way they showed it from like behind the glass,
yeah.
And then you just hear it's like a zoom in on her, and she's like, "Time to cut the cancer," and then it just cuts. So right here, you're like, "Oh shit!" Like, what's? I would say that I think it did a good job of making me guess different theories.
Yeah.
At a certain point, Allie and Lillian joined me and started watching the movie, and we were having fun being like, "Oh, is it this person? Is it her? But this?" And like without I don't want to spoil too many theories right here right now. But we had some fun kind of going back and forth and guessing what this thing could be.
Yeah, my favorite part.
My bad. Carrie, you have something to say real quick?
But in like sort of like in any movie where it's like sort of a thriller, psychological or some type, where a person hits their head, or there's like a psych ward or something, like in Shutter Island. Mm-hmm.
Spoiler.
The movie spoils itself, like by the movie
every
single time.
It does give it away.
All those types of movies.
I feel like there was enough things that would pop up that would make me be like, "Wait, so is it this?"
Yeah. There was enough the red herring.
Yeah,
to lead you astray.
Like, okay, but I kind of felt like there was a certain point where I felt like I knew what was happening, but I didn't know exactly how it was happening. Yeah. It was like, I know the person they're showing do this murdering and stuff is looking real familiar. You know what I'm saying? It's looking real familiar, and I was kind of like, so there are some things there. Jamie, I think you're about to say something as well. Go ahead,
when you brought up the opening scene where they're like, he's fucking shit up, people are dying left and right. Mm-hmm. I'm like, the thing I was more worried about is like, I didn't realize you could die from getting your arm broken. Like, you would just like your boy would get his arm broken, and then he would just be like, all right, I'm gonna peace out on this one, just like fucking dies. Like, there's no screaming or anything.
Guess I'll die.
And it's like, what's your solution to like this fucking thing? It's like, we have one blow dart gun that he like brings out the case. He waits until they get to the door, brings the blow dart gun out the case, and they have those traditional fucking like the blow darts with the fucking pink shit, the pink fruit at the end.
I think it's out to Jurassic Park, bro.
Yeah,
I think it's like
93,
93, it all circles back.
It's in the same universe, bro. There's gonna be a fucking Triceratops raptor shit like in the next one, bro. And there's gonna be cloning and shit. Can't wait,
bro. If we have a 3-way with that and Fast and Furious, I'm sold, bro. Fast and Furious meets whatever the fuck this shit's called again, and then Jurassic Park. So that's our opening. 28 years later is when we have the whole marriage thing where we were talking about. She bumps her head.
Ain't about it.
He said Annabelle.
Yo, domestic violence, they didn't, bro. They didn't. That's how I
can say
about that.
So she bumps her head. You know what I thought at first too? Because she bumps her head and she looks after the incident, which we'll go into in a second. She looks at the wall and they show her shadow like really heavy. And I was like, maybe it's some Peter Pan shit. And her shadow is like coming to life.
Yo, it's a prequel to Hook, bro. Let's go.
That's what I was kind of feeling, bro.
Williams comes back. Let's go.
I was kind of feeling that, but so she hits her head, and then husband sleeping downstairs because he's a piece of shit. So he's sleeping downstairs, watching TV, and back at it, cranking out some beers, and shit starts moving around downstairs. And I don't know, in horror movies, I hate this. Why isn't it people's first reaction to turn the lights on? They'll literally run around the whole house.
Save electricity, bro.
They'll run around the whole house and then see, light a candle or some shit. They'll run around the whole house, see a figure on the couch, and then be like, okay, maybe time for lights.
Yo, maybe he's like mining Bitcoin in the other room. He's got like conserved power. You know?
I don't know, bro. It's just goofy. But immediately they show us, because the thing is, they show us something. The movie kind of does the Joker thing where it shows you one thing, but it's not really that, or it's left up. I mean, it's not left up to interpretation because at the end of it, you know what was happening. But they show it like a shadow at first, and there was a part where I would say this spoiler alert. They fuck up the husband. Like the husband gets his shit rocked. Go ahead.
On the dude, so you can tell with the production value, the one shot I super appreciated was when the ghost or whatever is like stalking the husband or whatever, and they zoom in on the couch cushion, and you see the couch cushion like raise up. And I was like, yo, that's like. I for some reason I've never seen that in a horror movie before, and that was like really cool shit. Like where it's like you can see the entity like coming up off of the couch cushion. It's like.
It was a nice touch. I feel like I have seen that, but I can't pinpoint it. But it was kind of cool.
Like you got to come at me. So I just said definitive fact, and you come back at me. You're like, yo, I think I've seen this. I can't name it for you. I'm saying I didn't
because I don't want to disagree with you, but I just felt like it could have been a little more subtle because it was just like they zoomed in on the whole couch, the whole cushion. You
gotta see the couch, bro. Like it's hard. It's a little detail.
But okay, bouncing off of that, like that scene, I really like the part where the wife comes down, pregnant lady comes down, she sees the husband, and she immediately runs to the door, and the shadow just like pops up and slams the door like back, and I thought it was a cool shot. It was like, shit, and I like the creature. I felt like it was a creature, and I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. But they obviously dropped that later on. So yeah, she had this thing where this creature's coming out. It seems to be this creature. She goes, you have these cops. You have these two fucking cops, bro. Shout out to the Asians. We got our Asian cop, you know what I'm saying? Yo, low key, let's give Asian actors their flowers right now. Shang-Chi and now this as well. They're rising. I would say we, because like I want to be part of the minority group here. But we also have black sidekick detective whose only mode is bitchy the whole time. She just can't buy into anything, can't believe into anything the whole time. It's like, so you're telling me your imaginary friend is killing people?
But at the same time, she was sort of right the whole time.
No, at the same time she was, but it was like. The demeanor of it the whole time was just like we haven't mentioned Prager's lady's sister, Madison's sister, she's a
train wreck, bro. Like her life is what is it?
Yo, real quick on the sister front. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she lives in the same city and doesn't know about her sister's 2 years worth of miscarriages and that her sister's adopted as well. Just like no, like, are you really sisters?
Pretty tight. Like the way they portray them at first. Is like, aren't you guys supposed to be really tight? Like and the way it was so goofy the way it was shot too. Like she was like, and the way she brought it up, it was like, I just really want, like this is how you drop a bomb on someone. She's like,
and the sound, the music going, and the intense ass music with the
music was actually really cool.
The sister's eyes, she was like, it's the super wide eye, like, whoa.
Yeah. She's like, I just really want some like blood connection, some like some biological connection. And this is her sister who's like in her 20s, like my whole life we've been sisters. What do you mean? And then she turns around and she's like, I'm adopted. She's like, what?
Can we just now that we're on the sister for a second, can we just talk about how awkward that scene was when the possessed woman or whatever is like in the hotel room, and then the sister comes in with the princess dress, is talking to the detective, and like while talking to the detective, crawls into bed with his sister and just starts spooning her with this giant flamboyant princess. Yeah. And it's like, and the detective's
like, so hot, right? I was rock. Right? Oh no, you were crying out to that. Rock on you. No, but speaking to the sister real quick and the she detectives, I did love this scene where she just starts like yelling at them and she's like, "Listen, my sister is telling you this shit. Like, we're not gonna lose anything by just checking it out. If it turns out she's crazy, just lock us both up. Whatever the fuck." And they're just like, all right, fine, we'll go do our job. It's like, damn, like we throw some clues at you, just check some shit out. Like, this is literally your job. Just go check some shit out. So I did appreciate Sis coming in hot right there.
Okay.
And you know what? Back to the soundtrack. They kidnap someone. I don't know if I should spoil who it is. They kidnap someone that's working in like the old museum type thing. You know what I'm talking about? She's like a tour guide or whatever. They kidnap her, and when they show her tied up the first time in this like creepy ass attic, the music that plays, that soundtrack, they played a couple times. That shit was fire, bro. That shit. So I'm gonna give them the flowers for that. That shit.
Like the Wonder Woman shit.
Yeah. It felt like it was gonna be like a music video. It really felt like it was gonna be a music video or part of. It should have been like trailer music. It didn't really fit, but every time it was on, it was fire. I was about it. So I wanna give them their props on the soundtrack. From there, she just gets kind of goofy. She just gets really, all right, we're gonna start spoiling shit. We're gonna go into. We've been spoiling it obviously, but we're gonna get into heavier spoilers. And basically, we find out that the lady that was okay. We find out that the person doing everything is Madison with Gabriel. She has this malignant tumor type thing that's attached to her back. Looks like this. I don't even know how to describe it. It kind of reminds me of like the creatures from Men in Black.
Like Gabe.
They have little like twig arms and just like it kind of like Mad Max, like Mad Max Fury Road, like the deformed baby looking ones in the last Mad Max. It kind of has those vibes, but with like tentacle looking arms. And he can talk to Madison.
Because they share the same brain.
They share the same brain, so he can talk to Madison. He also has like electrical powers. He could like blow up pacemakers and shit. And also like change the radio station. If he's like, yo, this shit's whack, I need some Mr. Brightside on, he can switch that over, and then he can also use it to like talk to people. I don't know how being born with someone like that also gives you superpowers, but it works. There's a couple moments where I did fall asleep, and I thought maybe I should pause it or rewind it for the pod, but then I thought, nah, it'll be more interesting if I don't know. If I don't know what that was, the sleep was worth it in those moments. But yeah, she pretty much finds out through her sister investigating some old VHS tapes. She figures out. Tapes.
You don't say old; it's just their VHS tapes.
Yeah, true. Some classics.
Some crusty VHS tapes.
Figures out that the scientists, the doctors from the opening wanted to save her. Gabriel was making her do some evil shit. He was giving her visions and then making it seem like she was cutting cake, but she was actually slicing bodies and similar type. And that was kind of, there was moments where I thought they were going to Rise of Skywalker type thing, where Rey and Kylo have like this connection where they can kind of talk to each other and see each other's surroundings. And because in the beginning, she can, like, all the killing, she's a witness to. She's there, she's watching it, she can't move, she's screaming. And so it kind of felt like, okay, it's that connection. But then after you start thinking about it some more, it's like, wait, she's there the whole time. That's why. And yeah, so he's hitting her with these visions and making her do these things. And when they show the montage of her fucking people up, and when she actually, or he, as she starts fucking people up, it does look pretty cool. Like she's attached to the back of her body, so he breaks her limbs to make her like face his direction. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to describe, but he's like, it's almost like if she's walking backwards, but for him, obviously, it's walking forward, and it looks pretty fucking cool. And at first, it was kind of a complaint at the beginning because it was kind of like The Ring Or there's so many horror movies where people just walk up out of shit with broken limbs, or they're crawling and then they move really fast. You know what I'm talking about? Like that people have, that's kind of a cliche thing. But then when I realized, oh, okay, she's attached to his back, it makes sense. I kind of fucked with that at that point. I was like, I'll give you points for that. There's a reason behind it. It's not just he's walking creepy to be creepy, you know?
Think of the montage piece. Can we just shout out that they filmed this in the prison that Jerry Epstein was housed in? Because, bro, she fucking massacred like fucking 15 people in that jail cell. Not a single cop was like, "Hey, what's going on over there, guys?"
The only one that did got fucked up immediately. Yeah. He's like, I have bullets, but let me make sure I shoot real close
and then shoot the person
through the bars. And just like light up after like the first 3 shots of him hitting a random victim, like you know to hold back or like re-aim. Like, come on, bro. It was goofy.
Like they cannot listen. You're on the other side of these bars, bro. This thing cannot hurt you unless you do what you did and like reach your arms through the fucking bars, dog. Like
fuck up big time. Fuck up big time. So she's got this thing. Oh, you know what? So yeah, it was cool how they made her walk, or how they made Gabriel walk when he's controlling her body.
Yeah.
But
that's what Gabe looked like when he tore his ACLs, bro.
that hurts. I'm laughing it off right now. I'm smiling it off. It hurts. It literally, my knees are aching right now. That joke. He said a bitch. But when it gets into like heavy CGI.
Yeah.
Gabriel starts fighting the cop, and this scene is pretty cool. He's chasing Gabriel through the streets, and he's getting his licks in. 'Cause up to this point, he was kind of a bitch, but he started doing his thing. He started getting some licks in, and he follows her into dark, spooky areas, of course, with steamy pipes and all that. And bro, once again, real quick. Shout out to the Asians, bro. He's getting some shine. And he was a solid character. They didn't make him... They could have easily made him the dumb cop. And they were kind of making him... They were giving him some romantic subplots. Mm-hmm. Like, they were giving him some... They were throwing him some eyes. And it was kind of like... The producer was like, we're not going to let this Asian man smash this blonde chick. Because the whole sister thing, every time he looked at her, it was just like, girl, I'm trying to... You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take you home, girl. So yeah, back to the CG. They're chasing each other, and all of a sudden it turns into like Catwoman, like Halle Berry Catwoman, like Matrix Reloaded Revolution type.
He's going down the fire escape.
He's going down fire escapes, and he's doing like cartwheels and like looking like Spider-Man for most of it, and it just seemed really unnecessary and just cringy. And there were even moments where he's running through debris and like in the basement. And it was heavy CG. And I was like, why do you need CG for the scene? He's just running through some things. Like, you don't even need the CG. Like, there were just moments where I felt like they could have had some more practical effects. And it really took me out. I felt like I was watching an early 2000s movie when I was watching that. Like, I'm not going to lie. I don't know how you guys felt about those scenes.
I was kind of...
I don't care as much about CGI as you guys do. So it's not as big of a deal.
That means you're blind? You didn't see that shit?
I mean, it looked a little cartoonish, but I was fine with that.
All right.
His powers were so wishy-washy because like he could like drink electricity and shit, and that's like literally a line from this movie. He's drinking electricity. He can like drink electricity and shit, but then at certain times, it's like when he's being chased by the cop, he's just running in a straight line and like not like evaporating and shit. So I don't know. That was kind of like off for me. But it was like these cops, the 2 main cops definitely did get protagonist syndrome, where it was like literally 50 cops before them all died, and then like when Gabriel's about to hit them, he throws a chair instead of like breaking their spine.
That was so funny. Like,
she winded up Like, she was like in the Olympics, bro. She just made the Olympics. She just tossed that shit across the room, just nailed the chair, bro.
Because it looked
the
like
Blue Dogs, bro.
Yeah, it looked like she was walking backwards with the chair to like a glass. So it's like, oh, she's gonna break the glass and walk out. She like does a spin and yeets the chair across the room, and like these people are just limping away.
Yeah, I was watching it just with Alan, and we had to rewind that shit. Bro. We were all like, "What?"
It was so funny.
We all were expecting exactly what you just said. Is what we were expecting. We were all like, "Wait, what? What are you doing with that chair?"
Like straight.
It
was great.
Yo. This movie gets a heated chair. That's what it gets.
Like straight.
A heated futon. Should we go more into the ending, bro?
Her acting was so bad, dude.
Her acting is cringe.
There's so moments, bad. There's moments where I've ever seen in my life, dude. Honestly, it was so bad.
It was rough. There was moments where I was giving the movie credit for killing certain characters, like
when you thought they killed, when they thought you shot the sister, I was like, thank you, that was dope, bro.
I was like, oh, that was cool. I'm gonna give you respect for that. You actually did it right when I thought she was gonna take control. That's tragic. And then it was like, oh no, it's all good. We're happy.
It was all a dream.
She Doctor Strange did it. Yeah, it was just it was underwhelming. It was a complete dog shit. It was, I would say, more entertaining than the Conjuring movie.
It was a different like the premise was different. It wasn't just some ghost that haunts people. It was
all over the place though. The tone was all over the place because that chair talk didn't feel like it was in the same movie, you know. And even just like when I started laughing so loud when the reveal of Gabriel and his little arms are like. I started laughing. I was like, no, this is not what's happening.
Have you ever seen Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls?
Which one is that?
The second one.
I haven't seen a long ass time.
When he's like climbing out of the rhino's asshole.
Oh shit!
That's when he's like, so he's in like a mechanical rhino spying on people, but it like this fans break, so he has to get out, but the only entrance is the butthole. So he like squeezes through the butthole. Watch that shit, and don't tell me it looks like when they first reveal Gabriel coming through the skull. He's like, he's like trying to peek out, like what's going on, guys?
Yeah, it's just too goofy. It was like I can't be scared when it's this goofy, and there really weren't that many scenes or setups for it to be
just
scared.
The early portion.
Just the early portions where they wouldn't turn the lights on was really it. Yeah, just let's wrap this up, bro. Jamie, what would you give this?
Fuck. I'll give it a standard futon, but has one pillow that has like a blood stain on it because you're like laying down with your bloody ass head, even though you're a nurse. Like,
all right, Carrie, what would you give it?
Yo, contrary to popular belief, I sort of like this movie.
Wow, I knew it. I knew we were not going to be the same, bro. What?
Yeah. Okay, real quick.
I have a real question because, like, I was talking to Lil earlier because I was telling her what we were going to review, and I was like, Carrie actually doesn't like horror movies.
Yes, exactly.
He stayed away from horror movies, so I'm interested to see.
I have a different perspective on this movie.
Let me hear your perspective.
Massive pansy for horror movies. I don't watch them.
What's your thing? What?
It's like why have nightmares when you don't have to, you know?
Well, like, did Nightmare on Elm Street touch you, bro? Like, what movie touched you?
No, it was like I Am Legend when I was a kid, you know, or Predator when I was
So when I was the first horror movie that got you, Predator?
No, when I was like 8, and you're talking about a fucking invisible killing machine. Just like
you watched you're 8, you were that old when you watched it.
So like you're just walking around as a kid, and any bit of space that can fit like a 6-foot tall killing machine, you are afraid. So I just lived my life in fear as a kid, and I was just like, but it's still one of my favorite movies because I'll go back and watch Predator. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking awesome.
I wouldn't even consider that one a horror movie, really. Like,
yeah, but it was like, it's like, but it goes back to like why have nightmares, you know, or why have like bad
nightmares
thoughts,
heavy. You know? That was the first one that you could think of that gave you nightmares heavy. Predator.
Yeah. Also, Jaws. I watched when I was like the same summer. When I was also really young, and I just like, and I live by the ocean. It's like I'm scared of water. Like,
bro. Yeah, you know what? I can't blame you, bro.
I'm invisible of space and water. Like not just space, like outer space, but like tangible space that you can like. If there's enough, you die. Like so, you know, great fears, you know, for a young growing child to have.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this movie. And I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be a little scary. I'm like, at the beginning, and then it turned into a comedy. And I thought the bad acting at the beginning, I thought it was on purpose because it was like, this is purposely like bad. You can just see it, and I was like, okay, this is actually sort of that's not going to be set up to be scary. And then sure enough, it really was a comedy. By the end of it, I didn't look up the genre tags. I was like, this is actually like sort of turning into like Midsommar vibes, you know, where it's just like at some point you're just like, ha, like when they yeeted the chair, I was like, I mean, at this point, if that doesn't cement it as a comedy, like I don't know what does. So like also Gabriel was like,
it's an unintentional comedy. Like, it's an unintentional comedy. Yeah. There was moments where he's calling and I was just like, why?
He had like Nazi zombie voice calling. I was just like, this whole movie was just like funny to me.
Yeah,
and it wasn't
funny though.
Like I felt it was sort of intentionally like it had B movie vibes of just like, this is like purposely bad.
If it was intentionally funny, there would have been more jokes. It was definitely taking itself too seriously.
Every time the cops were around, they threw out jokes. There was just like, it was just like, you were talking about how the tones were different. It was like where it's like buddy cop movie, and then like psychopath someone's trying to kill people movie. Yeah. But it was like at the same time, both are funny because the main lady's acting, she was just like a brick wall half the time. Yeah. Just like acting. I was like, something's fucked with her. And sure enough, like it was, to me, it was pretty funny.
Couch bump?
I low-key wanted to give it a couch bump, but like I literally can't. I literally can't.
Yeah, because you got the podcast. Like,
because like because there was like the intentions behind people's actions were just like ridiculous. Like even for a comedy, it was just like, bitch,
it's not a comedy.
Like, this is a comedy. So like, why is she staying at the fucking house? Like, well, just stay with your sister or something. Like, there's just like like, why is that guy?
Because she thinks someone broke in.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you going back to the same house and just boarding up? Like,
and then like the cop chasing the guy. The cop chasing the guy after after she does like flips down the thing. She's like, what the fuck? Like I laughed at that, but it was like, why would you chase that shit?
This flips down, and he had to throw himself on a dumpster truck and bounce off that, and then bounce on the cement. And he was like, "Yep, I can still chase after her." So you guys are on different levels, Papa. Yeah, let it go.
But if there is, so I have to give this like decent futon for me personally. But again, there was just like really, it was a little off. But I'm looking at it as a comedy.
Yeah.
As a person that doesn't like scary movies, and it was really fine. But there's two things that you learn from this movie. Mm-hmm. A, bangs, evil. Yeah. Bangs are bad.
Bangs are bad. That bitch literally gonna turn on you, dude.
Bangs are evil.
But also bed frames. Just get rid of your bed frames, people. Like there's no point to bed frames. There's no point to bed frames. Just put your bed on the ground. Like
it's way better. Under there and it won't touch your ankle at night.
Yeah, like it creeps you out. I live without a bed frame now. I'm chilling. Like life is great. I sleep on the floor, guys. I just sleep on the floor. Yeah, like I got my mattress and my bed spring like on the floor. It's fine.
Yeah,
look like a bum, but.
Yo, bro, you almost give it a couch bump. Makes you want to give it like the fattest ripped beanbag chair.
Different perspectives, though. Very different perspectives. Like, I thought it was supposed to be bad. Like I thought it was.
This is not like some Edgar Wright spoof, bro. This was.
I didn't have anybody telling me like as I was watching it, like like. But
you need somebody to be like, yeah, this shit actually does suck, bro.
I was watching it, I was like,
this is a comedy, bro.
The whole time,
you need someone in there being like, nope, not supposed to be funny, not actually funny.
If like I was decently entertained, then why not?
Nah, you know what? That's super surprising. You'll go from hating like things that you would expect you to like, and then loving this. What? Not loving. Let me not put words in your mouth. I would give it like an average to low futon. It's not completely a ripped beanbag chair. I give it credit for not being another Annabelle type supernatural thing. It's not a ghost, you know. It's actually
that has superpowers somehow.
It does still have powers, but it's not necessarily ghosts. There are some cool after shots. Like they don't show cool death scenes, but like they show the body fucked up afterward. You know, and that got old too. They'd show like, oh, this person died, and you just find them in a bathtub in blood. And it's like, oh, okay, that was this.
I mean, they had died in the same way that the other guy did, and they showed the stabbing, so they didn't want to repeat that.
Like,
so
yeah, but it's like, yo, and that's another thing. Horror movies are, if you're gonna have deaths in horror movies, switch it up. Like, you know, make it give us a different type of kill. Like, it doesn't have to be Saw or some shit where you got different traps, but you can switch up how you kill people. Even like the Scream movies, which they kind of rip off at times with the caller ID shit and calling people on the phone and what's your favorite scary movie?
Can we talk about how fucking the voice of Gabriel over the phone was the most generic, like, stalker creepy voice ever, dude.
Bro, they should have had Norm Macdonald. Yo, rip Norm Macdonald. Bro, just real quick, they should have had his voice. That would have been more.
We have the audacity to record at the time like this, bro. What the fuck is wrong?
I know, bro. That hit me. Celebrity deaths don't usually like hit me like that because they're not family. You know what I'm saying? They're not eating at the dinner table with me. But this was kind of hurt, bro. Norm Macdonald hurt. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'll give it like an average futon. I can't recommend it to anyone really. If you're someone that likes there are people that this is right in their alley. This is their genre. When Annabelles and Conjurings come out,
and those people we don't talk to. We don't. If you're that person listening to this pod right now.
Jamie loves half of those though. If you love history and all that. I got a fan theory. So I bet you Norm Macdonald isn't actually dead. He's just doing a press promotion for Malignant, dude. That could be it. You know what? I didn't stay for the after credit scene. Walked out of the living room immediately when it ended. So
after credits?
No, I'm saying
there was not.
I didn't see it. So maybe Norm was popping up at the end of that. That's what I'm saying. If there was, because I walked away.
Oh, because he had cancer.
Yeah, I can't really recommend it. I don't know if horror fans will really fuck with it. I think if you go in cold, and maybe if you go with the mentality that it's a dark comedy, or
it really was.
It's not intentional. It's definitely not trying to make you laugh on purpose. Maybe the chair. Maybe
100% with the chair and the cops. The cops are trying to make you laugh.
There was one guy in the writer's room or girl that was like, "Yo, we gotta spice this shit up. This almost a 2-hour runtime. We gotta throw a chair in this motherfucker or something. We gotta do something to spice this up." Chair. So that person gets a couch bump for sure. I hope that person's thriving. But yeah, it's alright. So that was our episode of Couch Bump. I'm not sure we're gonna watch next week. I know Carrie's super busy, so we're gonna have to figure out timing and all that shit. If you fuck with the podcast, hit up our website, couch-bum.com. We're on we're on fucking Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to a podcast, YouTube, Twitch, todo, you know what I'm saying? It's all out there. If you fuck with us, leave us a review, share it with your homies. But yeah, appreciate you guys listening.
Wait, Gabe, you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
Jamie, you know what I'm thinking?
Let me hear it loud and clear. Everybody listen up.
Gordon. That guy. End it.